Hey friend, I'm so glad you joined us across your Christian television network. Maybe you're watching us on a digital platform. I want to encourage you to like it, share it, tell your in-laws, tell your outlaws, and man, I am thrilled to have some wonderful guests. A friend of mine I've known for a long time, Dwayne Jackson, founder of Hoops on Mission, and Javian McCollum, Fort Myers' own, making a difference with the platform of basketball. You're going to hear more from both of these wonderful gentlemen in just a moment. But there's an old saying, a picture paints 1,000 words we could ever say. I want to show some of the impact of Hoops on Mission, and we'll be right back across your Christian television network.
Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hoops on Mission is a multicultural nonprofit organization that exists to inspire and empower youth in Southwest Florida to be world changers in their community.
Hoops on Mission is a place that I can express myself, something where I can get away and relax, have fun, and learn about new basketball moves, new things, learn new things about the world and God. And it's just a loving place. The coaches love us, and they want us to do more and better things, and they want us to help out the world and be successful in life. I learned about the words of God and gospel, how like he came in this world and changed everything for us, and he came in this world for us to have a better place and a better home to live in.
Throw 'em on like I'm aware 'em. Ain't got the shoulders for the burdens I'm bearing. Broke down and pulling over by the wayside. Was never made for this type of
Hoops on a Mission is a way for me to connect with the community out here and find better basketball players and build a better connection with God. This summer I learned how to read the Bible. I learned how to create a shot and how to double defense.
Hoops on Mission means to me, like we are all a big family. We all care about each other. We all uplift each other. I learned how to be a better ball handler, how to be better at basketball, and how to be a better overall player.
I know you've probably seen God's eyes. If you can see him through God's eyes. If you can only see him through God's eyes, yeah. I know you've probably seen God's eyes. If you can see him through God's eyes, yeah. He's right on time, right on time. Just lay it down, it's not your fight. It'll be alright. Your heavy light, word off, this love is always right.
This summer at Hoops on Mission, we hosted 4 weeks of camp, including 4th through 9th graders at the beginning of the summer, which led into this last week where we had kindergarten through 3rd graders. One of the highlights for me was inviting the older campers to become counselors for the K through 3rd camp this summer. And it was incredible to watch them go from students learning for skill building themselves to entering into the place of leadership and skill development for the younger group and come side by side with them, get down on their eye level and share in the experience of learning and growing in basketball as well as community.
This year's summer camps have been filled with awesome times with our campers, where we taught them the game of basketball and the power of Jesus. Throughout the spring and the fall, we offer our weekly trainings, high school, middle school youth nights, mom and me sessions, and more. If you're interested in joining the Hoops on Mission family, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, or visit our website at hoopsonmission.org. Thank you.
4, 5, 6.
That's right, Hoops on Mission. Those of you watching around the country, you can go to the website right there on the screen, learn more. You can help be an urban missionary and support this wonderful ministry that's transcending all ethnic and religious boundaries. And you know what? Being salt and light in the hour that we live in today, it takes people to impact lives. And somebody standing on the front lines contending for the faith, my brother, Dwayne Jackson. I mean, you played major college basketball, could have played professionally as well. Less than 1% play at the college level and even at the pro level. But it's an honor that you're using the platform God's given you. What inspired Hoops on Mission?
Man, first of all, thanks for having me on the show.
Honored.
About 10 years ago, 2 of my cousins were murdered in Fort Myers. And I had just got married, and my wife and I always had dreams of being missionaries in Nicaragua, Haiti, and Africa. But after we prayed and fasted, we felt like God called us to be missionaries in our backyard. Now, I'm 4 generations from Fort Myers. My whole family is here, right here in Fort Myers, Dunbar area. And my wife was like, babe, how about if we use basketball to spread the gospel to kids? And she came up with this name called Hoops on Mission because I love basketball and I can't stay still. Let's do Hoops on Mission. So Hoops on Mission, basically a platform we use to use basketball to spread the gospel to kids. And you know, in our community, from the home life to the basketball court to the community, how can I use my platform of basketball to draw kids to a bigger platform, which is Jesus? And that's how everything got started.
That's awesome. And one of the gentlemen that is using his platform to reach a lot of people, Javian McCollum, awesome basketball player at the University of Oklahoma, but from Fort Myers. And you've been part of Hoops on Mission from the beginning just about. Talk about what Hoops on Mission has meant to you.
I mean, like Dwayne said, thank you for having me on here. Hoops on Mission, it means everything. I mean, like I said, Dwayne took me under his wing, and just from the first time I met him, I knew he was genuine. I knew he had love for the game. You could just tell by how he acted when we worked out. It was always love, and he always loved to see us get better. And just having that in our backyard, like he says, I mean, that's tremendous to have because we don't really have that in our backyard. Someone that's in the community and in basketball for us, and as well as teaching us about God and teaching us about Jesus. I mean, it's gone a long way, and I'm just carry that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and you have definitely been using that platform, and like the scripture says, your gift makes room for you. It's definitely doing that. What do you aspire to do with the platform God has given you?
I mean, hopefully I even get on a bigger platform and come back and help people like Dwayne and help people in my community and teach them that anything that you want to do, whether it be go be a doctor, whether it be go be a football player, basketball player, you can do anything you set your mind to, because that's what Dwayne did for me. We were on the court. He said, hey, man, you can go as far as you want with this. And just having somebody instill that into me, I mean, it means the world.
Yeah, well, you're a great leader, and I believe a future pro, and it's amazing. Now, when we talk about Hoops on Mission, Dwayne, you do a lot of different facets, but one of the big things that I think is awesome is the discipleship component. Talk about how that works.
So, for me, I always talk about getting muddy. And getting muddy is basically the verse John 9:11, how Jesus stuck his hands in the mud and put over the blind man's eyes to see, right? So everybody has a little mud in their life, and everybody needs a little mud in their life. And kids at a young age, they go through a lot of different obstacles, trauma, different things. So how can I get muddy and do life with kids? So for me, how can I be Jesus in these kids' lives and be a light in dark places? So kids talk about school, get your grades. Coach Jackson, do you go to church? Yeah, I go to church. But the most important thing for us in Hoops on Mission is how can we get this kid to love basketball, but his identity not be basketball, but be Jesus? I think that has a lifetime impact.
It's hard to keep your identity in Jesus first. It's tough, I mean, because there's so much pulling at you. Javian, talk about the journey for you. I mean, you've been on quite a journey, and God has made a way for you.
I mean, the journey was incredible. I mean, I'm still going on a journey,
Yes,
but
sir.
It started off, I want to say middle school. I'll never forget it. I believe it was 7th grade year when Dwayne, he had the building over by the Travel Lodge on 41, and I was there after school every single day just working out with him, helping him work with kids. I mean, it was the time of my life. And then going into my 8th grade year, we won nationals. I think it was because of that summer or whatever I was with Dwayne. We were in there every day going hard. 8th grade year, we won nationals. Then I went into high school. They were saying I was too small to play varsity. I wasn't strong enough. And then freshman year, I played varsity, overcame that, and then I had a great freshman season, and then sophomore year had an even better season. Junior year, we were 1 game away from states, but we had a 5 overtime game before the final game, and then, I mean, it's hard to play after a 5 overtime game. A little bit tired, a little bit, but then going into senior year, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I almost thought I had to go prep, but Siena College called me, and they gave me a chance, and I took that opportunity and ran with it. I'm so thankful for that, and then got to Siena. My freshman year, had a good season. My sophomore year, had a really breakout season, averaged 16 points, and then I believe God just made me go through all that adversity to make me strong in college, going into that sophomore year. And then after my sophomore season, I hit the transfer portal and ended up at Oklahoma. And I mean, I've came far, but I still got a long way to go.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner, man.
Boomer Sooner, man.
And I love the fact that you know, I think that's one of the life lessons in athletics and in life is perseverance. It takes a lot to be at that level, Division I level, and then playing at University of Oklahoma, the hardest, most difficult conference in basketball. And at the college level, I mean, it's incredible. And people underestimate you, your size, this and that, but that's what they did with David. David in the Bible killed Goliath. Gideon, all the people God chose to do great exploits, they were least likely candidates in man's eyes. But man, when God marks your life and He's giving you a gift, boom, it makes room for you.
Dwayne said, we got to stay muddy, man. We get it from the mud, so you got to stay muddy, grind every day.
That's it. Grind every day. I love it. Talk about what you see, how some of these kids, when they go through, you know, the Hoops on Mission, whether it's a summer camp or some of the different discipleship components, how have you seen the growth in some of these kids?
So when you see basketball, you see kids are really successful in basketball and they love basketball. It's an opportunity for me to use my gift of basketball to be a light. Now, we all know when kids go through things on the basketball court, it probably stems from what's going on at home. So how can I do life with kids? For me, on the basketball court, you see a lot of different things from kids getting angry and having these attitudes and different things. But like, most importantly, I really believe, like, for example, this kid with Hoops on Mission, he needed a bed. And he was, you know, we go through shame and different things. And I got to know the kid and I was like, man, like, what's going on? Because he was acting out on the court. So I pulled him to the side. He was like, Coach, man, I'm sleeping on the floor. And I was like, you sleep on the floor? And I go to his house, talk to his grandma, and he was sleeping on the floor. Wow. So I was like, dang, like, so the cool thing about Hoops on Mission is like we really do get to do life with kids, but also I've been around a lot of coaches who do life, but just because they're talented. I want to do life just because this is my calling, what God called my wife and I to do, but also be able to go to their weddings and be a part of their family long term. So what can Hoops on Mission and I and my wife instill in kids to let them know that we're here for life? Because that's the most important thing. Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. I mean, really, you're pastoring. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be pastoring behind a church pulpit to pastor. I mean, Jesus reached people wherever they were. And I love that you are Jesus to these people. And greater is He that's in us than what's in this world. And so I thank God that you're doing it, man. You got your hand to the plow. And I want to encourage you that are watching. You know, I like to say every dollar is a destiny. If you want to give to this ministry, it's a 501c3 nonprofit as you purpose in your heart. If you didn't give a blessed dime, God's love for you isn't going to change. But I want to encourage you. This is a great soil to sow into, and you can make a difference in somebody's life. You can help this man stand on the front lines with his wife, like Javian's doing, and help make a difference in somebody's life. They might need a bed. Help meet the practical needs so you can do the spiritual needs. I just want to exhort somebody that's watching. Javian, how has your parents impacted your life?
Oh my goodness, man. Where can I start? In a tremendous way. Ever since I was younger, my mom has gave me the confidence and courage to chase my dreams and just be able to do whatever I want. But she always told me, you always got to be respectful, always got to carry your way a certain way so people respect you. And I mean, I've taken that with me my whole life right now. And I mean, where I'm at right now, it's working. And she also said, grind. When I was in high school, I never partied, never went out, never did anything. you call Javian. I'm always in the gym. I'm always working because it was bigger than basketball for me. I mean, I wanted to build a stability for my family, and as I'm doing that right now, I just feel so good, and I just want to thank God because I've came a long way from where I was.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, you know, how has sports and basketball particularly kind of kept you on that, if you will, that path that, you know, because there are a lot of distractions out there, but you kept, number one, a good mom and dad. Yeah, good mom. Yep.
I mean, just being able to have the right people around me, like I said, like people like Dwayne, keeping my head on. Like the thing with Dwayne is he's gonna let you know when you're in the wrong, when you need to change something. And I mean, you always need someone like that in your life, and just being able to call someone and talk about something and, hey, I need advice on this. I mean, just the people in my circle have guided me and been able to get where I am today. I think that's why I believe I'm there.
I concur with you, and I can see an obvious call of God on your life that's going to transcend basketball. It's going to be amazing as God continues to raise you up, man, in this hour. It's going to be awesome, and you have an authentic heart, and that authenticity, that's what this generation cries out for, man. And I believe the Lord's going to continue to increase your platform, man. Dwayne Jackson. Dwayne, talk about, you do annual outreaches. What are some of the annual outreaches, like Bibles? Like, talk about some of that.
We do a lot of stuff in the community. We do a basketball and Bible drive every Christmas right in Fort Myers, and it all started out of the trunk of my car. So
I remember that.
10 years ago, some kids was like, man, like, I'm the basketball guy. I'm the basketball guy. But as you know, basketball is a platform you use to spread the gospel. Sure. So what I did was, I was like, man, I can get these kids Bibles, but I can get these kids basketballs, but what about if I get these kids Bibles? Because that's what's gonna really change their life. So it started out of the trunk of my car. I started going to Michigan projects, John Walker, and the PJ is what we call it. Yeah. And out of my car, just going out, passing out Bibles and basketballs. And then now it's turned into this big event where we pass out 300 basketballs and 300 Bibles every year during Christmas. Also for Thanksgiving, we do a turkey drive where we basically adopt this community, and we love up on this community for the afternoon. We give them turkeys, play music, give them a gospel message, but love up on all the kids in the community where we know most of those kids from schools that we enter to and visit throughout the week. And we do back to school drive where we give away backpacks and stuff like that. And for me, the school aspect, the component is very huge because, like, if you show up you show up in school for a kid, like, now they see you in the schools, they see you in the community and on the basketball court. For us, with Hoops on Mission, I feel like that accountability piece is so important because now they're seeing you in all those important areas in life. And a lot of kids that we are around don't have that male model to demonstrate what it looks like to be Jesus every day. So I'm thankful for those outreaches that we have to help our community and transform our community.
Man, I'm so glad you got your hand to the plow and doing it. And again, I want to exhort those of you who are watching, you can help make that difference. And are you thinking about doing bikes next year? Because, you know, maybe somebody's watching, I'm stretching them, but maybe they can to do some stuff like that, you know, help them out, you know. Javian, talk about what are some of your other aspirations outside of basketball?
I want to build my faith with Jesus and get closer with Him, and just having everything. I always wanted to have a notebook and just write some stuff down. What can I get better at? What can I do to help my community, give back? And that's something I've been thinking about for a while. But
that's awesome that you're thinking in those terms. So, I don't want to tell your age, but you're a young brother, and you got wisdom way beyond your years.
I mean, I've seen a lot, and I've gone through a lot. So that's why I said I thank God has put me through all that just to make me the person I am today.
To help a lot of people, man. That's awesome. Dwayne, when you look back, you and your wife, you have this God idea. Talk about the missions component of Hoops on Mission. You still aspire to do some of this overseas, and you've done a little bit of that, right?
My wife is Honduran and Puerto Rican, and we felt like Fort Myers was segregated in some parts, but basketball transcends all ethnicities and cultures just like Jesus can.
That's right.
So how can we get all these kids on this basketball court, but also spread the gospel to them?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the mission part is, I believe every day is a mission. You walk out your house, things can happen where you have to have that armor on and be ready to take on the day. Now, for my wife and I, this is our calling for us, so it's more personal. And we get to do that with our kids too, you know. I got 3 kids, and they get to see Daddy live on mission throughout the day. Now, for us, starting it, for me, well, me personally, I didn't know kids were going to die, you know. With Hoops on Mission, we've experienced 22 kids in 10 years that have been murdered right down the street from us. Now, when I say that, people are like, man, like, well, this ain't Chicago, this is not, but
yeah.
What I realize is I need to make sure I'm healthy. I need to make sure I'm taking care of my family, which is my number 1 mission, but also I need therapy. So constantly throughout Hoops on Mission, God has been shaping and molding me to be a better husband, be a better missionary, but also be a better father. Because as you know, kids are always watching. And as a missionary, people have put a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
So how can I model Jesus every day? By being a great husband, but also a great father. And when I walk home, my kids run to me. That's the best feeling in the world for me, because my kids get to see Daddy do what he loves, but also be like Jesus every day. Now, for kids in our neighborhood, like, it's a lot of violence, a lot of things go on in our community.
Come
that a
from
lot of
broken
people
homes.
Don't know, but for me, like,
I want them to know that are watching, because this is what happens in Fort Myers, Florida, happens around the world.
As you know, our community is growing, but it's a lot of need, you know, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. So I have to make sure I'm staying healthy to be able to do what I love to do. And you know, like, it is kids in our community that carry guns to make them feel safe.
Sure.
It is kids who sleep on the floor. It is kids who don't eat every day. So how can I use basketball but also share the Christ to them? Just show them love and just be me every day. I don't got all the answers, but I know we know who does. And when I'm weak, I become strong. I say my wife is one of my big supporters, because like, she's like, baby, like, you need a rest. You've been going 60 hours this week. You need a rest. Like, your kids need to hang out with you. Your kids, you need to spend more time. And that accountability from my wife, but also that truth and that honest, and I know it's coming from a great place, it keeps me being the best that I can, you know. And that's the real mission, you know. The real mission is being humble, being authentic, like you said, but also being me. And as the world comes in, and like, you got Javian, like, man, people always talk about Javian, man, like, man, he can go to NBA. But I'm like, man, nah, man, like, look what God is doing in his life, but also like, it's family. Like, it's real family.
Beautiful.
Like, it's great that if he go to the NBA, but more importantly, like, man, like, we got a lifetime brotherhood relationship where he get married one day and he might call me and be like, hey, man, I got a question. And that right there is everything to me.
Yeah, it's awesome. And to have, like what you said, have that inner circle, if you will. It's hard to find authentic people, and especially when you have a gift. Everybody wants that gift, and I mean, I hate to say it, even those that are watching, you're watching this and you're very gifted, like Javian or like Dwayne, you know, could have played or sang or did, and you felt like your gift was prostituted. But God wants you to know there's people out there that are authentic, and as you pray, he'll bring them into your life. The scripture says he knows the plans he has for you. They are thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you an expected end, a hope and a future, in Jeremiah 29:11. But verse 12 says, when you hearken, or when you listen and go and pray to him and search for him with all your heart, you'll find him. And that is the most important thing, is the preeminent thing. And that's what I love about what both y'all are trying to do. None of us are perfect, but you're trying to be the light in your sphere of influence where God has planted you. And you're using the gifts God has given you to help make a difference in someone else's life. And I see that in both of you. And I mean, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. But you chose to do it because you want to make a difference in somebody's life. And that just shows what kind of heart, you know. God don't love us based on what we do. He loves us based on what he did for us on the cross. But it is refreshing to sit down with some brothers that want to see change happen. And we have such a spirit of division over skin color, denominations, The most segregated time in America is on a Sunday morning. It shouldn't be, because God said, I'm coming back for a church without spot or wrinkle. Speak to that a little bit.
Like I said, how can I be Jesus everywhere that I go?
We all bleed the same.
And for me, when we think about church, at a basketball camp, we having church, you know?
That's right.
In the schools, we having church. And,
we are the church.
We are the church. So how can I live like that every day? And that's how I model now. For me, I share this story with you. We go to Pennsylvania every year, and I do a basketball camp, and it's cornfields, it's the Amish community, but my kids get to come alongside of me and be with me. Now, we got friends in Pennsylvania, and they got acres, like they got deer hunting is a thing, and I get to raise my children around all different cultures and ethnicities and different things. And now, for me, I tell kids all the time with Hoops on Mission, like, of course, God created skin color. We all know that. But at the end of the day, everybody has a story. What's that kid's story? So during lunch at Hoops on Mission camps, we have everybody get to know different people and break bread with them, get to know their name, get to know where they're from, and all that. And you doing life with kids, you know. And I truly believe people in our community, once you get muddy and put it over the blind man's eyes, you can see. But it's a lot of people, a lot of things in our community that people just don't know. You know, like a lot of people don't know that I've experienced a lot of trauma, and 22 kids have died in our community. Like, what does that do to me? You know, and I got to depend on God, man. And so.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for both of you being agents of healing to a lot of people and restoration. And man, we're already out of time. I want to encourage you to connect with Hoops on Mission, connect with Javian McCollum, and until next week, same time, same place, we'll see you soon across your Christian television network. Yvette Lodato has written this mini book titled, I've Accepted Jesus, What Just Happened, in English and Spanish to help answer your questions that people might have after they've accepted and confessed Jesus as Lord of their life. In this book, you will discover you are completely free from sin and were created in His image with a plan and purpose in life. Download a free copy of this book at lightoftheword.tv. Again, that's lightoftheword.tv, and learn more about your new life.